significantly. People, live their lives differently. Whether they live in a house or a small apartment, their home and their home life and their expectations of modern living really has to get translated into a product, in terms of the going from A to B. It should be seamless. And those expectations in terms of creature comforts, seamless technology, this user interface has to translate into a compact vehicle. So this is, again, an area where the design team really went and expressed themselves and created an aspirational product. You can see they completely changed the interior architecturally in terms of layout, in terms of overall proportions, in terms of the feeling of space. Just like the exterior, we wanted to give it more stance, more presence. We wanted the interior to feel light and airy and comfortable and home. It had to have a warmth to it. This is not a cold product. This is not a commodity. This is actually a living environment that the customer is going to live in. It has to feel comfortable in. This is a space where people live in and enjoy life, and enjoy the travel, enjoy the journey, and enjoy being together. And of course, it has to have character. Again, just like the exterior, don't make something too much of an overstatement. In Tata Motors design, we always describe ourselves as, I would say, modernists, or people who are pushing the envelope and always looking towards the future. But at the same time, it has to be a warm environment. It can't be cold and clinical. And at the same time, it has to be a seamless element of technology and materials. One of the elements we've noticed in terms of this modern living lifestyle is that people really want softness around them. They want that reassurance. That also communicates a safety and a comfort. It's like a little bit of a hug, that the car gives you when you sit inside of it. So we've really increased the soft materials, whether it's on the doors, the instrument panel, the center console, and we extended also all of this from the front to the rear. And this attention to detail, material quality, like Anand was saying, it's not just the recyclability, but it's the tactility and how you feel and touch and see these materials that really makes the overall holistic experience something really unique. So again, you have to take these ideas from theory to execution. And this is always done with physical models in our design studios. There's wonderful drawings, terrific data, terrific attention to detail, but ultimately, we're making a physical object. And that physical object is always translated, ultimately to the customer. And so you always have to put yourself in the customer's shoes when they see the vehicle, when they sit in it, and they experience it, and then they live in it, of how they're going to use this vehicle. Of course, this is a small car, this is a compact car. As aspirational as it is, it should be lighthearted. It should have a little bit of fun. So there are Easter eggs, even the signature mascot, a lot of time goes into this. And this user interface is actually something that people sometimes don't realize. The experience of how you experience a design, whether even the switch gear, you'll notice even the door switches, the window switches on the door have been completely redesigned. It's really down even to the haptics of how you use the vehicle. And this whole experience and this ecosystem is all coming down to detailing and attention to detail and a focus on what the customer wants. This interface of how you use it, where do you put your phone, what are you doing, what are you looking at, whether you're driving, whether you're a passenger, whether you're experiencing it. This is always something that we're always mindful of. And of course, finally, there's the color. You've noticed through the presentations, through the teaser images and the videos, and I think we've, from our sort of history of launches, we've always had a lot of fun with the color palette. Again, this is a car that has to have character, it has to be expressive, and at the same time, it has to be lighthearted. So this is the color palette of the outgoing portfolio. You can see everything on the right-hand side is more or less, I would say a commodity color, but always on the left-hand side we had our signature colors. So when we were designing the new portfolio of colors, we were looking at really creating something that reflects the times, the fashion, and at the same time, the values and what the customer is doing. Whether it's the phone case they have, or the clothes they're wearing, or the things they see around them. They are just as attuned to expressing themselves through this vehicle as they are through their clothes. So whether it's the ICE or the EV, we've come up with a couple of colors that are really the new signatures that'll look modern, dynamic, and at the same time aspirational. Of course, for the ICE vehicle, we have this coral toned color. You've seen this color. It was actually a color that around a year or two ago was deemed the color of the year from a sort of overall trend analysis. And when you see it on the Tiago, it looks perfectly at home. Of course, then we also introduced a couple of new colors, this Sobo Surge, and also on the CNG signature, this pastelly blue. Of course, some are more mainstream than others. Some will get accepted by a larger collection of customer targets, but they look completely at home on a very graphic and, like I said, dynamic product. And then finally, with the EV, you've seen this sort of matcha-inspired color everywhere. You know, whether it's in coffee shops, fashion, or phone cases, everything like that. And again, the EV, it has to express not only the technology, what it does, but the character, the personality, and the overall expression of what the customer wants. So whether it's the ICE product, that expresses a high-tech, high-quality, looks completely at home with the rest of the portfolio, and really does express a sort of wow factor for the customer, or it is the EV that really communicates that this is now no longer a niche product, that electrification isn't something that people are considering, but this is now a new mainstream. All of that together brings a product that we're very proud of. I think it goes without saying that this was a real work of love from the design team. And I think they were really challenged with a very tight envelope in terms of creating a dynamic and an exciting product. And I think when you see the vehicle in person, you'll definitely see that. So thank you.
Personas are curated with all the essential experiences, the design, the smart tech inclusions, the peace of mind with unmatched safety at the most accessible price points. Of course, our top personas offer the full picture, all the features you have seen, including 360-degree surround, blind view monitor, wireless charging, connected car technology. All of these segments so far were available 2 segments above, and we've democratized it for the first-time car buyer. Let's have a look at the complete persona walk of the next-gen Tiago. I'll give you a few seconds to photograph that. Now with the Tiago.ev, the same philosophy applies. Built around fit-to-purpose mobility. Anand spoke a lot about it. Shailesh showed different customers how customers tailor the Tiago for their particular lifestyle and how India actually drives everyday city commutes, high frequency usage to go around and buy your groceries, etc. Occasional long distance journeys. Every step across the range unlocks a more capable, more connected and more confidence inspiring EV ownership experience. So whether a customer is entering the EV world for the first time or looking for a complete electric hatchback experience, there's a Tiago.ev curated to fit that life naturally. Back and look at the new next gen Tiago and Tiago EV together. What becomes clear is how much this product has moved the hatchback game.